Welcome back, everyone, to a spooky episode of Yeah No No Yeah. October is here, and for this episode, then Keelan suggested that the three of us each choose a horror movie to discuss and talk about. So that is the main topic for this episode. Liam chose the 1983 movie Angst, Keelan chose the 1983 movie Videodrome, and I chose the 2001 Japanese horror movie Pulse. So definitely some interesting discussions in this one. We hope that you guys are enjoying the spooky season. As always, look out for the timestamps in the description of the episode if you want to jump to a certain point, avoid spoilers and all of that. And don't forget that we do have a Patreon, so if you want to support the podcast, we would greatly appreciate it. All of the donations go towards the episode artwork that we do. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the episode, and let's get into it. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Good afternoon. Good night.
Yeah, no, yeah, nation.
It's literally, we can literally do good morning, good afternoon, good night. Like, that totally works.
You're treading lightly on another podcast right there.
Yeah, you'd be taken from another podcast there.
Which
Quinn.
one?
Yeah, Job Media.
The best one.
Oh, I didn't know that they did that. I thought that was like a common.
Their whole thing is always like good
Game
afternoon,
on.
good morning, good evening, and good night. So.
Oh, really?
Good afternoon, morning, evening, or night.
I know
Can't
that from the
that.
Truman Show. Didn't Jim Carrey say that in the Truman Show? And if I don't say
he
it,
says
good.
Yeah, he says like 3, but I think they say 4. I think. I don't
good
know.
afternoon, morning, evening, or night.
Oh,
Yes.
But evening and night is the same thing. Whatever.
But Jim Carrey says good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
No, I thought. Does he? I thought I thought he said good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I don't know.
I have no idea at this point.
Who knows? Somebody in the audience
me.
can correct us. But we're back after what? What was that, like 3 or 4 weeks? I don't know.
I think it was 3
it's been a
weeks.
while.
3. I know you don't have much new with you, Liam, so we can move on to Keelan. Just kidding. We'll get to the main. You've got the most new. So tell us all about that Tokyo trip, man.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Obviously. Loved everything about it. It was just a fucking dream come true going over there. It was beautiful. And there were so many different things to do, and I just loved all of it. Shibuya is like fucking insane. That is like the most intense place I've been in a while, because it's just like so many people. Oh my god. I've never seen that many people in one place. Fucking Harajuku was amazing. That's like a place where it's like a lot of different fashion shit is really huge there, and there's like so many shops and stuff. Meiji Shrine was cool. Mount Fuji was amazing, obviously.
It looked like the perfect trip. What do you want to share what happened on Mount Fuji? Or
I properly proposed to my girlfriend, Julia.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
woo, yeah. All right.
This is the first time hearing of this.
That's crazy.
The Yeah No No Yeah lore has expanded. We're deepening the lore.
Yeah.
Liam proposed.
I was very happy she took it well and everything. So
Bet.
yeah.
I mean, that's
To get rejected on top of Mount Fuji would have sucked.
yeah. That would just jump off the mountain at that point.
The view looked fucking insane.
It was sick.
Yeah, the
It
view
was
did.
so cool.
Man.
Oh. And when we went out on like
God.
the paddle boat thing, like on the lake and stuff, and you could see Mount Fuji even from the lake, it's like awesome. It was so much fun.
Did you end up buying some clothes in that fashion store you're talking about? It looked like you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you had the fucking drip going on there. You looked like a rapper for a while. I was like, damn, he's dripping.
I love the outfit. It was cool.
No, I know, that
Just
looked
like
awesome.
let's try some new shit. Like shit I
Yeah.
usually try, and I was like, damn, that's cool.
You didn't run into any ghosts? You didn't have any ghost encounters through the internet?
No, I don't think so.
You didn't see any cat buses?
No
I saw
cat.
cats.
Did you? Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds
Yeah.
like the perfect vacation.
It looked fucking great.
Yeah, it was great. It's hard being away from Julia, obviously, and all that kind of shit
Yeah.
sucks, and the flying sucked, but everything else was just perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really new here. I mean, just working a lot. I mean, we just got Taylor Swift at the theater, and we have it for 4 weeks. and it's only the beginning. Like, this is the first week, and it's actually bringing in a lot less people than we thought, so that's kind of nice. Maybe I won't have to work quite as much, but
hell yeah.
Well, same here.
I bet for you, yeah. Wait, you got the Taylor Swift too?
Yeah, but it's only like we don't have it like 4 weeks straight. Like, we have certain days that it's on. It's kind of weird. Like, we have it like the next 3 or 4 weekends, I think, and like the odd maybe Monday and Thursday, which is kind of strange, but we have it. It's been doing pretty decently. Nothing insane. No like fucking insane Swifties or anything. Like, the only thing to report from it really is like on one of the first screenings, my coworker was saying that they were just singing along inside, and I was like, yeah, cool, good for them. I would
expect that, yeah. You're having to deal with the weird ass ticket prices though that she's making all the theaters do.
Oh, that annoying? That pisses me off. That's the only thing that pisses me off about it. Is just like $19.89 for the ticket. Oh wow, it's your album. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck
and then
off.
and then the discount price. I don't know if this hat is for you guys, but like, we have a discount price, and that's $13.13 because 13 is your favorite number.
Yeah.
Oh, the child ticket. Yeah. No, not to get like too in depth with boring work shit, but like, our tickets normally are just even numbers. Like, it's $8 for a ticket or $10 for a ticket, so we never have to deal in coins. And so now we're using fucking coins and having to like, it's just complicating like a lot of stuff. And the music is so fucking loud that's coming from the theater. I'm relying like entirely on my noise canceling earbuds when I stay, because I'm gonna hear the same songs for like fucking 4 weeks anyway. And we have The Exorcist in the other theater, and I know that you can hear it in the other theater, which, to be honest, I mean, I'm just glad it's not a good movie that's getting ruined anyway.
You never know, it could change someone's life.
What could?
The Exorcist.
Imagine going to watch The Exorcist Believer and like all you hear is Taylor Swift in the background.
I know, right? Yeah, full on Extra Swift double feature, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's the new Barbenheimer. It's Extra Swift.
Oh god.
No, Blumhouse pushed Exorcist back explicitly to avoid that. So
yeah, that's
which is crazy.
It is crazy, man. That's really it for me. Just working a lot. Patrons. Okay. I think it's still 5, by the way. Do you keep track of these, Liam?
It is still
actually
5,
don't.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forget to even look, so like, I just assume it's still the 5.
If one of them stopped now, I'd be like offended.
I know, right? They're in too deep right now to where like they just, there's no backing out, so they're stuck.
We can't have
with
the
us.
faithful 4. It doesn't make any sense.
All right, so yeah, starting with my girlfriend Kath Fernway. I'm just gonna say it like that. Kath
Thank you,
Fernway.
Kath.
Thanks, Kath.
And moving _ pictures. Julia, thank you very much.
Julia, thank you.
Julia. Thank you very much, Sarah's Popcorn Chat.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're the best.
Being a patron. Yeah. And thank you, Ardor Film.
Yeah,
there we
go.
go.
Okay, Ardor.
Nicely done.
I was flipping the coin there. That was 50-50. Okay, Ardor Film. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Luna _ Pearl.
Thanks, Liam's mom.
Thanks, Liam's mom. Now on to what we've been watching or listening to.
I guess I should, get it out of the way. A very important event in my life happened recently with the release of Saw X. I went to see it in the cinema.
Yeah.
And it was fucking great. It was everything I wanted it to be, and I am so happy with it. I could not be happier with it. And I know Quinn saw it as well.
Yeah, I was
very surprised with what you thought of it.
I'm really surprised too. I guess, I mean, discuss, I guess, really quickly. I rewatched the first Saw recently. I really liked that because that has an actual story and characters and history and all that. The rest of the franchise I've honestly hated. I've already talked about that. I just think the editing is like a 2000 music video, and it just relies on its gore and stuff. But this new movie, it took an entirely different approach, I thought. Like, it was so much more character driven, like, surprisingly.
Oh yeah.
And it just felt different. Like, it just felt, and I like that we focus so much on Tobin Bell. To counter that though, it's kind of interesting because I've been seeing a lot of, like, some people critique it because it's almost like turning him into an anti-hero, like he's the hero of the movie. Like, it's kind of like they really glorify him somehow. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know if you
I don't give a fuck. I loved it.
I mean,
he's my best friend. John Kramer is my best friend.
It's he's literally meification of Saw. Yeah.
No, but I agree with pretty much what you've said, but like it does feel different enough, but also it does feel like very similar to a lot of Saw movies, and I'm kind of shocked it's getting a very positive reception. I wouldn't say it's like that much different to like my favorite Saw sequels, like Saw fucking 6 or Saw 3 or whatever. I don't think it's that much different, but the main difference is you're with Tobin Bell throughout the whole film. In the other Saw movies, he's just there for every other scene. Like, he dies in the fucking third one. So there's just kind of thinking of excuses to bring him back after that.
Yeah,
but with this being set between 1 and 2, you know, they have that liberty to bring him back and just have him be the straight up protagonist of the film, and I thought he worked very well. I do love the Saw movies, and I will never say they're all good movies, because I think only the first one is a really good movie, but the consistent thing about them is that Tobin Bell is fucking great in every one of them, and this is the best he's been in any of them. He is like he's great in it. He's great. Yeah, totally agree. Shawnee Smith as well as fucking Amanda. She was great. I really loved her. The only thing I wasn't really like crazy about was the ending, but you know, everything else was like everything else satisfied me, and I really loved it.
It was a great surprise. It's the only Saw movie to have a positive, like, Rotten Tomatoes score, too, which is interesting.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, not even the first one has that, so that's, like... But, yeah, it was a really good surprise.
I would have given it an 8 out of 10. I loved it.
Same.
Loved it so much.
I would actually get... Yeah, same.
This is the last time we'll ever talk about Saw on the podcast. Savor it, Saw fans out there who listen to this podcast.
Is this the last one? Like, for real?
No, apparently they're going to go... Did you stay for the mid-credit scene?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not really like setting up anything though, right? I mean, that was like, because this takes place in between Saw 1 and 2.
I saw two things about like where they would take the franchise, and one was another prequel and one was a sequel to Saw 7.
It's random. Saw 7. Okay.
I mean, that was the end of the original timeline.
Oh, it was. I'm not privy to the timeline of Saw, I guess.
Sorry about that.
I blocked them all out of my memory because it was like just a weird fever dream of whatever that I went through with them.
So until Saw 11, I will not speak of Saw on this podcast ever again.
Yeah.
While in Japan, me and Julia, one of the earlier nights or whatever, just randomly decided we wanted to watch a horror movie, and she was like, I want to watch a Japanese horror movie, and we put on The Wailing. And I was like, Julia, this is Korean. And she's like, so, yeah, she got that wrong. But yeah, like, I've wanted to watch the movie for a while anyway, and it's great that I did, but what a fucking colossal letdown. Oh my god. Like, for real. It just becomes so stereotypical. Like, the more it goes on, you're just like, oh my god, I've seen this like 1,000 times before. The story, like, doesn't grab you, like... After like the hour mark, I think it just kind of like sets up all this shit, and then it feels like it's going one way, then it goes another and another and another and another and another. It's like it just fucking shifts around like so much and doesn't know what it wants to be, and it's way too overlong as well. That's a bit shitty, but I mean, it's a very good looking movie. It's well acted. I think the child actress who plays the little girl in the movie, she was like probably the best part. She was really fucking good. Yeah, aside from that, it's like just really not that much special about it. It has some cool imagery and everything, and I can see why people like it, but I don't think you can argue that the story is pretty weak, honestly.
That sucks. I wanted to watch it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I'll still watch it. Like, I'll still give it a shot, but I mean...
It has good things about it, and I can see you guys like maybe liking it, but I just thought it switched up way too much, and yeah, just really didn't know what it wanted to be towards the end of it. The ending was kind of cool though. I'll admit that.
The ending.
It was kind of cool.
No, I'll still give it a shot. I mean, because it's like, I don't know, it's really praised for some reason. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'll still give it a shot. But
that really confuses me, honestly. I don't know why it became so highly praised, but
I think I don't know if this is just me, but I'm starting to notice, like, do you think there's like an international effect sometimes to where like sometimes we watch like thrillers and horror movies and mysteries and stuff, and sometimes when it's like a Korean movie, people view it as more of an elevated thing for some reason. Is this just me, or is it like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's like if us English speaking people are so like jaded by our own movies, we watch something like that and expect it to be more of higher quality. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes people give movies like that more of a pass. I don't know why, but
No, I can definitely agree on that.
I watched The Creator. I wish more people were watching The Creator because this movie has kind of been bombing. I know, yeah. This movie it's kind of sad because, I mean, it's what's his name? Gareth Edwards or no?
Yeah,
Gareth Edwards. Yeah, I mean, this is his like what, third movie or something, and it's
fourth, isn't it?
Third or fourth.
Yeah, it's Monsters,
Godzilla, Rogue One. Oh yeah, so it's his fourth. But yeah, this is like I like this because it's just a completely original idea. It's like not often we get blockbusters now that is not attached to anything at all, not part of a franchise based on a book. Like this is like a really big production that is just like completely original. And
that's
like,
a lot of the reason I
really
want to see it so bad.
Yeah, and it's we don't really see that nowadays unless it's from like Christopher Nolan or something like that, you know. So like, I really appreciated that. I guess with that being said, like it's definitely a movie that takes inspiration from a lot of other movies. Like it felt really similar to like District 9, Logan, The Mandalorian, or like even like I, Robot and shit. Like I was just thinking of all these different movies as I was watching it. So it's kind of a combination of all those, but either way, great performances all around. Just like the movie looks incredible. Yeah, it's just too bad that it's kind of like bombing at the box office because people just don't know what it is. I would say people should check it out, but by the time this episode releases, it's probably going to be done in theaters. So it's pretty good though. So like I'd give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Like it's solid. It might be my favorite. It's like tied with Rogue One as my favorite movie from him. So I don't know.
I watched a little film called Lake Mungo.
Oh, you did? I didn't even see that you watched
Nice.
it.
Yeah. I watched Lake Mungo earlier this month. I think it was the first in my little horror movie binge I've been on. I have not been able to stop thinking about it. It is so fucking good.
Yeah.
I originally kind of wanted to give it an 8, and then I settled on giving it a 9, and the more I think about it, like, it might be a 10. I think it's virtually flawless. The way like it uses the mockumentary style to tell the stories of these characters, and especially like the main girl Alice and her disappearance, I think it's very unique. I watched a film called the Poughkeepsie Tapes a few days after, and it also has kind of a mockumentary style, and I compare them both because they're kind of both what I like and what I don't like about found footage horror movies. Whereas like the Poughkeepsie Tapes has kind of like a very fake feel to it. Like everything in Lake Mungo feels like totally real. And that's one of the reasons why it's so effective. It kind of restored my faith in found footage movies and ghost movies in general. I think it's amazing.
It is.
I've been just reading constant theories about it. I've been thinking about everything about it. It's just, it has a permanent place in my mind right now, and I fucking adore it. I think it's great. There's a jump scare in it that made me fucking shit myself, so.
Oh my god, I know what you're talking about too. Yeah, I've seen that like I want to say 3 times, maybe, at least 3 times, and it's a 10 for me. Like it's handled so realistically in the fact that like if I showed that to somebody without telling them that this was fake, I mean they could believe it, you know, like it's that kind of grounded, even though it has like some supernatural elements at some points, but I mean just the people feel so like authentic. It's handled so,
the acting is fucking amazing.
Yeah, the acting is incredible. It is. It's just, it feels so like authentic and just like really handled very maturely overall. So like, yeah, I love it. I mean, it's becoming one of my favorite horror movies, and like I wish more people need to check it out. And it's so weird because like this guy directed that movie and just kind of like disappeared. Like that guy's done nothing else, and it's since like 2008.
He's producing a movie that's coming out soon with David Malkian. I think it's called Late Night with the Devil or something. It's played like a couple of festivals already, and it's meant to be quite good. I'm looking forward to that.
Really?
But he produced that, and that's like the first thing he's done since Lake Mungo.
That's crazy, because that's been 15 years, so that's crazy. But yeah, you should check it out, Liam. And no, not just because it's Australian. you should actually check it out because it is.
It's very special.
I wanted to for a bit. Yeah,
it's great. If you can handle a good slow burn, it's really it'll stick with you. Yeah, but it's so creepy. It's so creepy and eerie.
I like slow burn horror a lot.
It's really hypnotic with how slow it is, and how the way that like the interviews are like woven in with the, you know, the found footage elements, like the fucking grainy ass cameras and stuff. It's done so well.
Another one that I watched in Japan was Lost in Translation. Makes sense. It's two characters in Japan, kind of just doing their thing. But yeah, it was a really, really beautiful movie. I think I really liked it a lot. I'm not entirely sure how you two feel about it, because I think you've both seen it, but I really loved it.
Yeah, it's good. I really would like to rewatch it. I think I just went in with like weird expectations because it was so praised, and like it's really a hangout movie, and I don't know if I was like expecting that. And so I don't know. I really do need to give it another shot. Sofia Coppola is just kind of hit or miss for me, honestly, with a lot of stuff.
I loved the whole, you know, lost souls element about it. Just the connection between the main two was just really strong because of that. And I don't know, I just really felt what they were feeling, and I loved the way it was all presented. So I thought it was great. Kind of feeling like an 8 out of 10 right now, probably.
Ooh.
Oh, for the Wailing, by the way, probably like a 4 out of 10 right now, honestly.
Jesus.
That's hard. That's too bad. Hey, I mean, that's not too low of a score, because this next movie I'm about to mention, I gave the lowest score possible, which was the fucking Exorcist Believer. I went and saw that shit. I saw it for free, thankfully. And yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. David Gordon Green. I want to watch more good David Gordon Green. I know I need to watch Joe. You've mentioned that, yes. Liam. I've seen Stronger. Stronger is great. I kind of like Pineapple Express, but like fucking the Halloween trilogy.
He needs to just stop doing horror franchises.
He does. He needs to stop taking big, like iconic IPs and like just putting his brand of weird characters and weird dialogue in it, and like milking dead franchises, and just like this is like what I hate the most about the industry, is what they do with the characters in this, and just like I could rant about it, but I'm glad to see I'm not alone in the fact that like not everybody's just blindly eating
people have
been
fucking dunking on it.
Everyone fucking hates it.
They have been, yeah. I mean, I've seen some people, like few people here and there like it, but no, for the most part, I'm not alone, thank God. So, but I was kind of excited for a bit. I was like, oh, maybe with the bad reception, this is getting like, we won't get the trilogy. But I realized that it's not ratings that determines that, it's money, and this movie's probably making enough money to like, okay, we're gonna do another. Like, it doesn't matter if a movie's good, it matters if it makes money in the business, you know. So
apparently the sequels are like straight to Peacock or something.
Really? That was kind of like the original. I mean, well, the other Halloween movies, yeah, kind of.
The second two, but that was because of COVID.
Oh yeah,
this is because no one really gives a fuck about the Exorcist Believer.
But nobody's going to the theater.
That's when you know failed
to see it. Exactly.
Straight to Peacock.
I don't even watch it if it's free. I mean, yeah, like I regret my time, honestly. And I was like, if you're gonna watch it, torrent it. Yeah, if you're gonna watch it,
don't even give the time of day to it.
Yeah, don't unless you're a obsessive completionist, or like you want to put yourself through a bad movie. Don't bother. It's just not good. There is nothing positive I could really say about the movie, honestly. So fucking 0 out of 10. I don't know.
I heard the kids were good in it. That's the only good thing
people
I've heard
have been saying that, but I don't know. I could not sympathize at all with the actresses like I could with like Reagan from the first movie. They're just not likable to me. They just really weren't likable to me. To where like I'm like, I don't give a fuck what happens to any of these characters. Like, so maybe they were like kind of good for kid actresses, but I don't know.
And also, does it have like, you know, the weird side characters like he had in like the Halloween movies?
Not a ton, but you know what he does? He has, this is in every one of his movies, I feel like he has like adults having the weirdest arguments. Like adults are just constantly yelling at each other and just yelling shit, and like, you know, like not Evil Dies Tonight, and it's not like to that degree, but fucking like I
that
just
degree
like
of epicness.
Yeah, but no, his characters are always so weird in these movies. Maybe it's just because it's horror and it stands out the most in horror, like weird, goofy dialogue, but it's not as weird as the Halloween trilogy. It's just kind of uninteresting, honestly.
Yeah, I'm never going to watch it. I have no interest.
Good.
I know roughly what happens, like all spoilers for Exorcist Believer or whatever. I know all the religions get together and exorcise the fucking the kids at the end.
Yeah, you told me about that the other day. I couldn't
dumb
believe
thing.
Fuck.
Dude, it's so dumb. Like, it's the most
like the
modern
Avengers.
idea. Yeah, it is.
The
man.
Avengers of theology.
It is. And I don't even want to know why they decided to have like 2 girls possessed, and like why all the choices they make in the movie are just so uninteresting and dumb.
Well, it's because in the first Exorcist they had 1 girl being possessed, so why not have 2?
That is true.
Wow.
Gotta up the ante.
It's just not very good.
What you should watch is The Exorcist 3, which
Yes.
I watched this past month.
Good segue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had the Blu-ray for ages, and I finally decided to watch The Exorcist 3, and it is fantastic. It is
Hell yeah.
so good. It's not as like theologically focused as the first one. It's more of like not even a murder mystery. Would you call it a murder mystery?
I would say it's kind of a murder mystery. It's like a supernatural serial killer murder mystery. It's a lot of kind of things, but
it's very interesting. It's very bleak. That jump scare that everyone knows was, oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it is fantastic. It's so well set up.
Mm-hmm.
But like George C. Scott is fucking amazing in it. I was shocked by how funny the first half an hour is, like with him and the priest. Like
It's
they're going to
hilarious.
see fucking It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
He's telling the story about the carp? Oh, I have no problem.
Yeah, the carp. He's got a carp in his bathtub, and like just the writing is so good, man, and like it's just so well done. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, the only thing I really had an issue with was the ending, and on paper, the original ending sounds better, but I watched like the Legion version of it, and it's just very unsatisfying. So I'm just like, you know what, it's not the best the way it goes over the top, but it's better than what
Exactly
what was shot originally.
It's one of the few times the theatrical cut is better than the director's cut, and that's just because they couldn't retrieve all the footage in its best quality, honestly.
They had to get like videotapes or something. That was
It's really rough.
Someone just had.
really, really rough. Yeah, I'm really glad that you like that. Because it's so good, man. It's just so good.
It's amazing. Brad Dourif as well. Holy shit.
Oh, fuck.
He's amazing in it.
Oh my god.
My god,
his
that man.
performance. That's top 3 performances like of all time for me at this point. I'm not even exaggerating.
blame
Like
you.
Brad Dourif in The Exorcist 3, those monologues, just watch them. Like it gives you chills, man.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm very happy with that movie. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Very,
Hell
very
yeah.
worthy continuation of The Exorcist, and probably the only good one we'll ever get.
Exactly, for sure.
My last one was The Beach. I'm like a huge fan of Danny Boyle at this point. I fucking love the guy, and I can't wait to eventually finish his filmography. But this one was very silly. Like, it's a really fucking silly movie.
I've heard some things, man. I've heard it's not even divisive. It's just like
he was like completely fucking unhinged when he directed this. Like seriously, like some of the shit that shows up, it's just like, what? Why is this here? Like, it's so random.
The Beach was the reason fucking Trainspotting 2 took so long to make, because Ewan McGregor wanted the lead role in The Beach and Danny Boyle didn't give it to him, so they didn't talk for like years.
Man,
I don't know what to say about Leo in this, honestly, because he's like, it kind of feels like he's not right for this role, I guess. Like, it's just not a character I ever saw him kind of playing, and he plays it like well enough, but it's like I feel like someone else probably could have worked better in this role.
Like
either
Ewan
way,
McGregor.
like he's not Ewan McGregor either, honestly. I don't know what you would put. I really don't know how to feel about it right now. I like a lot of the things that it has to say and stuff, and like I think some of the acting is really good and all that, and it is a unique movie, but it's just like I'm not sure if I liked it that much. But I don't know. It's worth giving a go though. I really liked Robert Carlyle in it. When Robert Carlyle was in it, he was so much fun.
Oh, of course he's in it. I love Robert Carlyle. He's always great.
His parts was like awesome. Loved him. But yeah.
I'll do an album. I wasn't sure if I wanted to end with a movie or an album, but I wanted to switch it up. It's kind of, I didn't even plan this, but like next month is going to be the 20th anniversary of this album. For some reason, I just randomly felt like coming back to it after years and years and years. One of the albums that was most integral to me and my like getting me into hip hop, which is like a genre I listen to a lot, and it was one that really got me into it, and that's Jay-Z's The Black Album. I don't know why I kind of became obsessed with it for like a couple weeks. Just wanted to bring that up. Like, it still holds up. I think it still holds up. I don't know if have you guys listened to it?
I haven't heard it yet.
I listened to it a long time ago. This would have been when I was like 15, and I remember really liking it.
It's the same age for me, yeah.
I think, because I did go through Jay-Z's whole discography at one point, and I think I ended up preferring like the Blueprint. I thought that was much better. Yeah. But it's still a great album. I think so too. No, this is definitely, I mean, everybody knows like 99 Problems, Bitch Ain't One. Everyone knows that. But even songs like fucking December 4th, Encore, Dirt Off Your Shoulder, My First Song, like there's a lot of bangers on this album, and like it's, for being an early 2000s rap album, like it has its dated qualities, but it still really holds up and it almost feels timeless. And it's just, I really credit this album in particular, this album, along with a lot of like Eminem stuff, for being the only stuff that really got me into hip hop at such a young age. So that's, even though I'm not like a huge Jay-Z fan, I don't really listen to a lot of his music. It'll hold a special place in my heart. So give it a listen if you haven't. The 20th anniversary is coming up. So yeah. Like I think I've only listened to the album once, but there's a mashup album that Danger Mouse did of the Black Album by Jay-Z and the White Album by the Beatles that I listened to quite a lot. And that's so I'm familiar with like most of the lyrics.
There was something I listened to quite a lot as well when I was younger, and it was the like Linkin Park Jay-Z album.
Yeah, that fucking song goes hard. Encore.
I love that album. And fucking Dirt Off Your Shoulder as well, and Paper Cut.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Oh, that is good. They should have matched up the. Yeah, they should have matched up the two Black albums, fucking Metallica Black Album and the Jay-Z Black Album. But yeah, I guess
99 Problems over the God That Failed.
Dude, that would go hard. Anyway, yeah, it's a great album. So just wanted to throw a music one in there.
Nice.
Yeah, was that pretty much it then? We're not gonna mention the elephant in the room, which is the fact that Keelan watched Solo 100
Oh yeah. What the fuck? Yeah.
I thought you were gonna mention Solo. You don't have to go in depth if you don't want to, but
okay, I guess I'm doing 4.
I mean, it could be like 3.5. Just like Keelan watched one of the most supposedly infamous movies.
Yeah, I watched Solo or the 120 Days of Sodom, and I didn't really enjoy it. I've always wanted to watch it. I would be concerned if you did. I've always wanted to watch it because it is infamous. Like, it's up there with like some of the most disturbing films of all time, and I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see what other people see in it. Like, it's one of Gaspar Noé's favorite films. It's one of fucking John Waters' favorite films. It's one of fucking Bill Hader's favorite films.
It's so weird.
And so I just wanted to see what it was all about. And there's a lot to admire in it. There's a lot of great stuff going on. The direction is pretty great. The movie looks great. The acting is all great. The score by Ennio Morricone is fantastic. But it's not even the disturbing content that I have a problem with. It's just very boring, and it doesn't really get that disturbing until the last like 15 minutes or so. But like there's this character in it that's like a storyteller that's telling like fucked up stories about her childhood and stuff. You can infer from there, but it's very uncomfortable. It's just an uncomfortable film to watch, and I got nothing out of it in terms of like what it's commenting on. Like, obviously it's an allegory for like fascism and all that, which is fine, that's good, but I personally could only see what was on the surface. And I didn't really like it. It's 4 out of 10. You people are crazy who like Solo.
Yeah, that's kind of if you like that movie, I don't know how you can really defend it, but I'm gonna watch it just out of morbid curiosity one day. Okay, we can move on to mini topics. I'll just bring up the fact that this is really big news in like the gaming world, I guess, but Microsoft officially bought Activision and Blizzard for $69 billion.
Oh, yeah.
This is a huge thing, actually. So, I'm as a PlayStation user, I'm kind of worried because there's a lot of, Activision and Blizzard games that I play, like Call of Duty and Overwatch. I'm kind of worried if I don't know what's going to happen with those, if they're going to become Xbox exclusives or no. But that's the only reason I care to bring it up.
I think they're working out a deal for Call of Duty because it is so huge and it's such a staple in entertainment that I think they'd be losing out if they didn't release it on PlayStation. But as far as I know, most Activision Blizzard games will be Xbox exclusive right now. But I think that Call of Duty is going to be an exception, unless they can get enough money from PC and Xbox players. I mean, they probably can with all the fucking microtransaction bullshit they have now. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know, needed to bring that up. All right, I'm sorry, I have to bring up this one other one. This is just like too fucking weird to not bring up. But in the theme, I guess, of constantly bringing up AI, this is actually weird. So Disney faced criticism they had some movie come out on Disney Plus recently.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Called Prom, Pact, and they used AI actors in the background. They're at like a school, I don't know what this is, like a cheerleading or fucking sports event or something, and there's this clip. I don't know how if I can even like send this in the chat or anything, but like
send the video because the video is more effective.
Yeah, the video really is.
I can play it when I edit. Oh,
and it's not everyone in that video is AI, by the way.
Yeah, just the two
front.
girls. If you swipe to the third, then it kind of will show you.
Horrifying.
Isn't it horrifying, dude?
Why the fuck are they doing that? Oh my god.
I don't know.
Because they don't want to pay extras.
Oh my god, Disney, have some fucking shame. My god.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find some kids to just be in a movie for free, right? Like you could just pull some kids off the street and be like, "Can you do this scene for free? You'll be in a movie." Like
it's a Disney movie. They have to pay them. They're legally required to pay them.
I guess, yeah. I don't know how.
But
that
even
stuff
then,
works,
it's only like, I think the fee is like $100 per extra, I think, or so for a day's work or something. So
That's it?
out of Disney's pocket,
that's nothing.
It's nothing. It is absolutely nothing. And Disney are absolute shitbags. I fucking hate them. Everything with the strikes going on, it's made me lose even more respect for Disney than, and I had very little to begin with.
Yeah. People were getting upset about the AI art in Secret Invasion, but this is a whole new low. You're making people up. Like, you're just making people up now. And it looks terrifying. But, yeah, I just had to bring that up.
With a lot of extra actors, though, they have been scanned, like, by the production. Apparently, Ridley Scott, the production of Gladiator 2 came under shit recently for doing the same thing, where they're scanning people's faces, and they didn't say why they were doing that. It's obviously something to do with, they want, because, it's going to be a big fucking coliseum, so they probably just want their faces so they can just insert them into whatever shot they want.
Right. It's a weird time for movies and shit when you got that going on.
It's fucked up, and I hate it.
Me too. It's just strange.
Is it any wonder I'm losing steam on fucking movies at this point? Really?
They're becoming more and more
I'm just so
digital
over it.
and watered down, yeah. But I don't know. Hey, okay, I was trying to think of a segue, but we got some good movies to talk about, which is I
did want to bring something up.
My brain gave up
real quick.
Yeah.
By the way, two things actually. One, I just thought of a very small mini topic, and two, we forgot poll results. So
oh shit.
Oh my lord.
Should
it's
maybe
still
do
a
that.
new segment. So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be She Is Literally Me then.
Yep.
Which I asked who is your favorite of these characters? And I listed Amy Dunn from Gone Girl, Danny from Midsummer, Jennifer from Jennifer's Body, Harley Quinn from the DC Universe, Pearl from Pearl, and Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim. We only got 2 votes. Oh dear. Okay, well, we got 2 votes, and one person voted for Amy Dunn, another voted for Pearl. So
Yes.
Oh,
it's a tie between
that you,
fucking
Keelan?
Gone Girl and Pearl.
No, it wasn't. It was not.
Oh,
Pearl
man.
stands are coming out.
No. Small little mini topic that I just thought of while I was in Japan as well. Pretty early on, I learned that Michael Gambon passed away, and that was very
Oh,
upsetting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind
Very
of
sad.
broke my heart.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, now both
Yeah.
the Dumbledores are gone, unless you count Jude Law.
Oh. Yeah.
Jude Law's still hanging on by a
Jude
thread.
Law.
Yeah, he's still hanging on. You're next, buddy.
Oh, dear. That's funny. I mean, no, it's not funny. I shouldn't say
But
that.
Ray Fiennes is still hanging around. Hell yeah. Evil wins always.
Oh my
I
god.
guess. Yeah.
But yeah, rest in peace, Michael Gambon. He was
Rest
cool.
in
I want to
peace.
watch more
Rest
of
in
his
peace.
stuff.
He was a good actor.
He was.
Yeah. I think I've only ever seen him as Dumbledore. I mean, like, I've probably seen him in other stuff, but, like, he's almost unrecognizable when he's not Dumbledore.
I've
you
seen him
know?
in a few
Like,
other things, I think.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him in a couple of things.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind was a Doctor Who Christmas special that he was in.
I mean, of course.
Weird.
He was in a couple of Wes Anderson films and Paddington as well. He was in both Paddington
Yeah, he's in
movies.
Fantastic Mr. Fox. He's in The Life Aquatic. There was a movie that he's in where he's like kind of... Oh yeah, Layer Cake. That's a good movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta watch
He's
more of him.
definitely in a lot. Yeah. But yeah, rest in peace for sure.
Rest in peace, Michael Gambon. Good actor.
Death is scary, but what's also scary is these 3
my
horror
God.
movies that we talked about. Yeah, so I guess this is Keelan's idea for the topic. If you want to, I guess, introduce
Hell
it.
yeah. Okay, so we're midway through October and we recorded the last episode in like the end of September. So I asked these 2 idiots to fucking come up with 2 horror movie recommendations, and I would also pick one. And we ended up settling on Angst, Videodrome, and Pulse. Angst was Liam's recommendation, Pulse was Quinn's recommendation, and Videodrome was my recommendation.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we should kind of go in order of release, maybe, in terms of like talking about them. So,
Sure.
well,
Yeah.
Videodrome and Angst came out in the same year.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let's see what
the only
date.
issue.
What date? No.
You gotta go to IMDb.
We'll do it alphabetically, so we'll do Angst first.
Do we want to, like, whoever picked their own movie could, like, quick read the plot or something
Yeah.
of the movie?
Alright, Angst, 1983, directed by Gerald Cargill. Probably not how you say that name. Based on a true story, a killer is released from prison and breaks into a remote home to kill a woman, her handicapped son, and her pretty daughter. Thanks, Letterboxd.
There you go. Man.
You know, we have brains that we can, recount the plot without reading Letterboxd. You idiot.
We gotta save that brain power.
Yeah,
for the
well, don't
actual
ask me to
discussion.
intro it then. Just don't.
Disappointed me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we've all actually seen this movie before this episode, so that's worth mentioning, I guess.
I think
it
it was
wasn't
the
a
only
new
one-
watch for any of us.
Yeah, the only one that was
Yeah.
like that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I showed Liam this movie quite a while ago. This is like a year or 2 ago. I think we just watched it because we usually watch movies over Discord from time to time.
I distinctly remember that like we were kind of in that phase of watching like kind of bad movies or like just
Yeah.
kind of turn your brain off fun movies or whatever, and then you picked this out of nowhere and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
I remember
I
being
mainly
shocked
just want.
by it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very shocking and provocative film. It's definitely like been quite influential on some major filmmakers, like namely Gaspar Noé, who's
Yeah,
a
he
huge fan
praises
of
the
it.
shit out of this movie. He said he's seen it like fucking 50 times or some
s-
shit.
an absurd amount of times, but also it's very short, so
It is.
he could easily bang it out like maybe 3 times a day, get those numbers up. But yeah, it is a very unique and disorienting film, and I'm glad you suggested to watch it, because I wanted to rewatch it and kind of solidify my thoughts fully on it. And I think this watch, I've decided on what I think of it, and I think it's just... I don't think there's any film quite like it. I don't think there's any film that gets you
No, and I
straight
don't think
into
there
the
ever
mind
will
of the
be
killer.
as well. It's like, I think a lot of it is to do with, you know, the audiovisual element for me. Like, it's the amount of, like, insane camera work mixed in with, like, how disorienting and, like, kind of weird the score is as well. Like, it just makes you feel really
Love
icky.
the score.
Like, the score
Klaus
is, like,
Schultz's score
the
is
score is
fantastic.
fucking amazing. I love it.
Like,
It is.
I think he was a member of Tangerine Dream or something. But yeah, even the score has been used in other films. Like, the main theme was used in Michael Mann's Manhunter for one scene, which I always bring up because I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, no, the score is great, and the main guy in it, what the fuck is his name?
Owen later.
Erwin Later. He is so creepy.
Wow.
He is terrifying in the role. He has
He
such
plays
like a
it so
coldness
well.
to him.
He plays
yeah.
like he really embodies like how kind of creepy but also weaselly and kind of pathetic this guy is.
yeah.
Like, you know, like he really like just nails it. I mean, every little like fucking mannerism and movement, and just like his eyes, those like bulging eyes, and his like really scrawny face. Like, he's such a weird, unsettling person. And you're right,
And
like
I
on
love
top of
when
it.
I love when the camera gets like really up close in his face, as
Yeah.
well, and you just feel like disoriented by his presence
Yeah.
sometimes, because it's like, oh god, like
And like you said, the camera work, like how it's like there's so many shots from
So
like
many high
above
angles.
and below,
Yeah.
and like high angles and also low angles, and like it'll like spin around sometimes the person, and I'm like, it really is disorienting. But yeah, those close-ups of him, it's kind of funny because like the most disturbing, the most uncomfortable scene for me in the movie wasn't even any of the killing. It was when he was eating the
Him eating the
sausage,
sausage, yeah.
the fucking sausage. Just like that just gets under my skin for some reason. It was kind of just weird, just gross.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But just like the way he's just chomping on that thing and like just eating
Staring
it,
at
dipping it
women.
and whatever, staring at women and just like
Yeah.
it's really weird. But
That scene is like insanely fucking creepy. And it
and it happens
like,
twice. Yeah,
it does.
basically.
Like, you know, the first time it happens is like he's straight out of prison, and it gets you in his mindset like, oh, this guy is an absolute fucking deranged psychopath, even though he's just eating a sausage. Like, the way the monologue is going on and on about how he wants to kill these girls. It's fucking terrifying.
And it's
so
like he barely really says anything during the movie. Like, it's mostly narration and stuff, so like I think a lot of his performance is, you know, kind of hinges on being physical. Like, it's like a very physical performance, and I think he just nails that so well.
He
Like,
does
a lot of his
lot of
mannerisms
running.
and movements, he's just you hate him.
Yeah, no, he really like puts his entire like body and like everything into this movie, because like even scenes to where like he breaks into the house, like that's real glass falling on his head.
Yeah.
Like that's and then the like when blood squirts in his face, that's not fake blood. Apparently that was
it's
pig's blood.
Yeah.
So like he really like he really commits to a lot of it, and it's just I don't know. I am really glad that you brought this one up, because the first time I watched it, you guys loved it on first watch. I did not love this movie. It was like a 6 or a 7 for me. I just didn't really see the point. But no, this watch really like I could say I love it now. I really did love it my second time. I don't know what clicked, but
I think it's really special as well that it's like, you know, pretty much the entirety of the movie is like watching the killing, like all of it happen in like kind of real time. And it like, you don't see that many movies where like the entire movie is that. And I just like how it's like very contained like that, and it works really well.
Yeah, it spans, well, the first hour or so spans like maybe like a couple of hours, but like isn't there like kind of a day change at one point in the film?
Well, yeah,
I
like
didn't think there was
the
there?
night
Oh.
the night into morning, like it kind of just cuts between there because he like falls asleep after killing and presumably raping that woman. So,
yeah.
That scene is like infamously creepy. It is like so visceral and so fucking disgusting.
Yeah, everything about it just feels like so raw and so real, and just like so like clumsy too, the way he kills these people.
I love that.
and just like, yeah, really, like it's not clean. It's not like, nothing's perfect in this movie. Everything feels so like, you know, it kind of reminds me of like the second kill in the house that Jack built, when he's like just like fucking up. He can't even like overpower this woman. Like,
he is incredibly clumsy.
He is like he
has no idea what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when the family discover that he's there. Like, he walks down the stairs and then like the daughter sees him or whatever, and then he just starts like darting around the house.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't have a clue what the fuck he's doing. He's like diving over shit. He's running over shit.
Even before
he's fucking
that,
knocking over people.
Right, and even before that, like, I think the first person he encounters is like the disabled guy, right? Because like he's in the house, and then all of a sudden he hears like that voice, like that was like a jump scare to me when it panned to that guy's face. I was like, oh fuck, I forgot that it just like reveals him, and it's so off-putting, even to just like the fact of who his victims are, like just to even add on to the disgusting feeling of the movie, like he's killing like the most vulnerable people, like this older woman and like this disabled guy with like slobber coming out of his mouth and like a wheelchair or whatever. Like, it's just so off-putting. But yeah, it's it really is. But this second time around, it was much more noticeable to me how like it's a great like character study, or like getting you into the psyche of a serial killer. Because like, even though I loved, for example, another movie that came out in the 80s surrounding serial killer, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, this is kind of what I wanted that movie to be. Even though I love that movie too, I was expecting that movie to be like this, to where like I want the full, like I want to go in his mind, but like this really puts you in his mind because of all the narration. So I really appreciated that.
Some of the narration is from actual serial killers as well. Yeah, that's one thing. And
oh shit,
yeah, I mean
that's why it says it's based.
It is based on a real guy as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the guy's still alive as well. I'm pretty sure he's still in prison.
Wow.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Let him rot.
Yeah.
But no, to add on to Quinn's point, I think why this film in particular is so effective is because I feel like a majority of movies with like the villain as the protagonist kind of sanitize things a bit. Mm-hmm. And this, it's like no holds barred. It's, you know, you're in there, it's just confusing, it's disorienting. And you just get in his fucking mind, and it's disgusting. Yeah. I hate it. But and also, you know, everything's so clumsy. All of his ramblings even are kind of like jumbled, and he doesn't have like a coherent through line to each of his everything that is going through his head, basically. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's really much cohesion there, and I think that works to the film's benefit, where it does feel like random pages out of a psychopath's diary, which, you know, most of the dialogue is.
Yeah.
And yeah, as well as that, there isn't much dialogue in the film other than the narration, which is interesting, and that really keeps the film afloat. Especially watching it on my own and just watching it with headphones, you know, the audio is like the vocal audio is like so close, and everything else feels very distant, which, you know, I appreciated that aspect as well. It's great. It's really well crafted.
Yeah, it also is kind of it's interesting too, because like a lot of movies like this, like you said before, it puts you, the protagonist basically is the psychopath, and like a lot of movies like that, I feel like really run the risk of like people sympathizing with, or like kind of like, you know, the Patrick Bateman thing, like the whole he's literally me thing. Even this guy, I mean, they nail it to where like it's interesting enough to follow this guy, but you don't, like, you're still interested in what's happening, but you're not going to like, this is not like a he's literally me character, and if it is, I'd be fucking worried, because there's nothing really good about this guy. Like but it doesn't like make me hate watching it because I hate him so much. It like runs that good balance of like, this is like just an observational character study. Yeah. And so I don't know, it was just that was refreshing, I guess, too. So
yeah, like we've been saying, it's really fucking unique. It's great. I'm very glad I discovered it when I did, because when I watched it for the first time, I literally heard of it like maybe a week beforehand, and I was like, that sounds really cool. And I ended up watching it, and yeah, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really glad I rewatched it. Really glad.
It's a great movie. That's gonna be a 10 for me.
Holy crap!
It was a 9, but
Yeah.
this watch just made me go, like,
Nice.
I loved it so much.
It's short and sweet, and it just like there's no
Yeah.
filler. I really feel like there's no filler.
The only problem I initially had with it was the fact that the ending feels a little bit choreographed, kind of. Because, like, not to spoil anything too much or anything, I'll be very vague, but, like, you know, when they're all, like, coming out of the cafe, like, just to look at him in his car, like, before the police even turn up, it's just kind of like, why did they all go out there? I don't know.
Right.
It feels very dreamlike, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of why I like it now. Like, that part actually worked for me this time around, but... Yeah.
That and also the part to where like he steals that car and all those like it was really weird, like those children and all that surround the car and they're like all looking in there and he's like freaking the fuck out. He's just shaking his head and just crashing into shit. Like it's so chaotic at points and like oh yeah, it's like a nightmare. It's kind of like a nightmare in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean I loved it. I fucking loved it my second time. I'm really glad I rewatched it. Jumped from like a 6 or a 7 to a 9. I think it's a 9 out of 10. Maybe on further watches it could be a 10, honestly. Like, because I don't know if I could say anything negative about it. So, yeah, it's great though.
In terms of negatives, the only real kind of negative I have is there is kind of like a point where it lulls a bit, and it's just kind of like, oh, can we get back to the insane shit? And I can't really pinpoint where it was, but there was like a section that whenever I do watch this, I always feel like, oh, this is dragging a bit, and then it gets instantly back into the action. But yeah, no, I've seen this 3 times now. It's staying at 9 out of 10. I've given it a 9 each time. Very, very enthusiastic 9 out of 10. I love it. It's a fantastic film.
Yep.
Nice.
I picked David Cronenberg's Videodrome to talk about, and Videodrome is about the president of like a trashy TV station, and he's always looking for something to grab the audience's attention. And he's like the main majority of like the first third of the film is him going around to places and like viewing footage to hopefully put up on his TV channel until he comes across a pirate network called Videodrome, and it starts to consume his life basically. And that is the gist of it. And I think it is probably one of the best films I've ever seen. Getting right into it, I think it is perfect. I think it is very, very prescient. It's shocking how much it's almost predicted in a way. And I think that's one of the film's biggest strengths. But also, like, you know, David Cronenberg's vision, like all of his films that I've seen, his vision is like, he has this kind of like plastic reality thing that I really enjoy. Like in things such as, you know, even more recently with Crimes of the Future or in The Fly, that sort of thing. And I really gel with that kind of aesthetic, and I think it's probably at its peak here. And yeah, no, it's great, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it, whether you agree or disagree.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
I mean,
good.
I agree. Yeah, I also thought it was good. I guess it's worth mentioning this was what your first Cronenberg movie, Liam, right?
Yes, it was. Yes,
So that's kind of a
Hell
big
yeah.
deal.
I've been wanting to watch
Yeah.
more of his, like, any of his stuff, like, for quite a while, and I was thinking of starting with The Fly, but because Keelan brought this up, I ended up watching this
Yeah.
instead. But
Either the Fly or Videodrome are good places to start.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. I was about to say, like, The Fly is very like easy to watch, kind of like accessible. Not that that's an issue. I mean, I'm saying not that you need
No, yeah.
something easy to watch, but for Cronenberg, he's got some weird like kind of weird shit that even I don't like. So like my first Cronenberg movie was Scanners, and I did not like Scanners, man. I thought
I still
it
haven't
was.
seen Scanners.
I thought like the only thing that people bring up about that movie is the infamous head explosion, and that's
Yeah.
like the only memorable part, and it happens in the beginning. So like the rest of that movie, I mean, I won't go on and on about that, but like he's very hit or miss for me, this director. Like I love what he's able to contribute to like film and like his style. Like he's a real like sci-fi horror auteur and all that, you know. He's like the go-to guy for weird bodily practical effects and all that. So like you can really appreciate, like come to expect that and appreciate that with any Cronenberg movie, and this is no different. Like, you know, the weird stuff in this to where like the stomach, this isn't spoiling really, but like the stomach gash and all that, and like the weird fleshy videotapes, and like the hand that's melded to the gun, like so many weird surreal shit, you know.
That fucking scene when it starts like meshing with his hand is like, oh, I love that. I know, shit. Right? That was awesome.
The effects like are phenomenal. They're done by Rick Baker, who also did like, you know, American Werewolf in London. He's a very famous makeup artist. And I think, I won't say this is his peak, because the fucking transformation scene in American Werewolf is like perfect.
That shit is like amazing.
Yeah. But here it is, like I was talking about, like the plastic reality stuff. It very much, it like none of it looks real, and it's not supposed to look real. And that's what I love about Cronenberg's vision. And what I love about Baker's effects in this specifically. Like you're talking about like the fleshy videotapes, or even like the poster with like the, you know, the TV, and the TV's like bulging with fucking,
yeah, that was cool. I love that scene. I love that
like
scene.
It looks very like plasticky, and I love that about it. What really gelled with me in this watch was like how fucking it predicted the future, basically. Like I think on surface level, I think some people might think this is like, oh yeah, TV bad, whatever. But like it is more about, to me it's more about like how disconnected we can become from other humans by attaching ourselves to, you know, other things like this. Like one of my favorite lines in the movie comes early on, where like Debbie Harry, like they're on the talk show, and Debbie Harry says something about like how we're always looking for like constant stimulation. And that is just like the
dude, that's never been more true. Yeah, it's never been more true.
Yeah.
Like people can't eat, you know, go to the bathroom without their phone. I mean, like it's like that bad, you know. So, yeah, no, that's true. And I see. I mean, maybe you read my review, because I think I said something like that, where I was like, all I kind of took away was like TV bad, or TV brainwashes, and like, because that at the moment, that's what I was like. You know, is that, I mean, for the 80s, maybe that was like a, you know, really prescient thing, you know, because TV was probably a lot more, I mean, it was before the internet, you know, TV was like what a lot of people were watching, but I don't know. So like, no, but the more I thought about it, it's definitely like got a lot of deeper stuff. There's no denying that. I don't want to say that the story felt directionless. I don't want to say that, but like it's kind of, I think it just kind of dwelled a long time on like the hallucinatory, like, where is this going? Like, this is really trippy. This is cool. There's a lot of cool practical effects, cool imagery and all that. But I don't know, the story really, you have to like really hang on to it to like know and care where it's going, I guess, if you know what I mean. But I don't know.
I totally agree with you, but that's one of the things I love about the film, because it's almost making you question like what's real and what isn't as you're going through the film.
That is true.
And I think that directionless nature of it does lend itself well to, you know, questioning everything that's going on. And I feel like that's the intent of it. Yeah. I think I
think because of that, it probably puts like the message over the actual story in that regard. Like, I don't really feel like the story had like a decent enough ending, personally. Like I just kind of felt a bit lukewarm on it.
I love the ending. At the ending, it's like one of the things that's always stuck with me about this film. I think it's so disturbing.
Fun fact, I guess, like there were 3 different endings filmed, and the one that they put in the movie was James Woods' idea, the main actor's idea. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I thought the ending was memorable. I would say it's memorable, at least. I don't know if it's like the perfect ending or anything, but
it's memorable. But like by the time that the credits just showed up, I was just like, okay, fair enough, and then I just moved on with my day. I don't know.
That's fair.
It didn't really stick with me because of that.
But if I, you know, I've been saying a lot of praise for this movie. If there was one thing I could criticize, is I don't think James Woods is a great leading man.
I think he was quite good.
I think he's
fine.
I think he's kind of bland. Like I think he's good in like a lot of, like whenever he gets heated or whatever, like when spoilers. Do you want to do the spoiler thing?
Sure.
Spoilers for Videodrome.
The pirate guy and the guy that he's working with, when they're revealing to him like, oh yeah, you're the test subject for Videodrome or whatever, his performance there is great. Yeah. I love the performance when he goes into the office to shoot his 2 associates. All that stuff where he's just kind of like almost like the Terminator in a way. Like he has this one mission now and he's going to do it. I think that stuff is really, really great. Yeah. But otherwise, he is just kind of a little bland, and I think that's the only thing that I don't really overly gel with in the film.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's
every
just,
other
maybe it's just the character itself, but like I don't know. I felt like the performance was good for what the character was, personally.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think I would agree. It's kind of he's just like kind of your base level protagonist. Like we're put in his shoes, but like we're the eyes into the movie through him, but nothing really more than that. I mean, there's just not much to the guy. I mean, a lot of times I don't know, but yeah. I mean, there's definitely more good than bad about the movie for sure. That my only like negative with the movie really is the fact that like I wish the story held my attention better. But I mean I will never stop praising the practical effects, the technical stuff, the concepts. Like David Cronenberg is like, he is a visionary for like a lot of this type of shit. He really is.
He's great ideas, man.
They really great ideas, man. And yeah, and I don't know, good watch, but like I know I just watched it like yesterday, but if I ever rewatched it down the road, I know it can only do more good than like bad. You know, it would only help. It wouldn't make it worse or anything. So
I'm not sure how it would go on a rewatch for me. I would hope that it'd be better, but I don't know. I still just feel like the ending kind of just made me feel a bit on it. But like everything,
No, it's totally fair.
everything leading up to that was really good, and I love the practical effects. I think the cinematography is really good. I think all the acting's good, but yeah.
The effects are really a standout, and I love with the cinematography as well. I love like the more surreal scenes, like when he's whipping the TV. That scene is kind of weird.
yeah, that was just a
When he's
cool
whipping the
idea.
TV.
Yeah.
So when he's in the room, like with the fleshy wall and all that, I love that shit. Or when like him and Debbie Harry get together for the first time, and then the camera kind of zooms out, and then it reveals like a big fucking black room. It's great. It's so good. I love that stuff.
Me
I
too.
live
It's
for
like
that
it
surreal
really
stuff.
is like a fever dream, just like nightmarish. Like I don't know. It's really, I don't know. I kept thinking of like David Lynch for some reason when I was watching it. Like it's just very surreal, and like off-putting and just gross at points. But
Oh,
no,
it's disgusting.
It is. It really like my favorite
hole in the stomach.
Oh yeah. My favorite, I guess, imagery was definitely when he was like when the TV her mouth was on the TV and the TV just started bulging and he was like pressing his face into it like he was starting
So cool.
like that just stuck with me. I don't know why. I was like, that is fucking trippy.
My favorite is the gun thing. I love the gun shit.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
the gun was cool.
I love the when he shoots the glasses man at the end. And then he just starts like fucking combusting and like
Dude.
there's shit
Oh, that
everywhere.
shit was
It's
so
great. I
cool.
love that stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was so cool.
Yeah. Do we have anything more to say about it?
Not really. I mean, overall amazing. Like technically, if a rewatch would probably help me care more about the story, but I still liked it. I still like Cronenberg overall, but it's not my least favorite from him by any means. But it's far from his like best. I think for me, it's far from his best. So I'm feeling like a 7 out of 10 right now. It's good.
I'm probably feeling
totally
like the
fair.
same, honestly. Yeah, about a 7.
That's cool. It's okay to be wrong every once in a while.
Yeah.
A 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Also, I didn't mention, but Brian Oblivion. That's a cool name from Videodrome.
That's such a badass name.
Brian Oblivion. I just had to put that in my notes.
Obviously, my
too.
real name isn't Oblivion, but you get the gist.
That was funny. I'll get into the third movie, which is Pulse, which is also worth mentioning. Somehow, this was Keelan's first pick for the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. There's like thousands of horror movies, and we
I'm
both
blaming
thought
my trauma on you now.
of your trauma.
But no, I actually feel Pulse and Videodrome was a really good double feature.
I was
idea
about-
because
I was
yeah,
thinking that too.
Yeah, they're both very similar. Yeah.
they are both similar in
Yeah,
their themes.
because I mean, one's like
They're both tech
one's
horror,
surrounding
basically.
obviously tech horror, but like television for one generation because that was like the big thing, and then early 2000s the internet. That's the next big thing.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense. Yeah, it was unintentional. Also, I guess it was all of our movies had blue posters. That's another weird coincidence I thought I'd bring up. It came out in 2001, directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Letterbox gives me a description, which is, in the immense city of Tokyo, the darkness of the afterlife lurks some of its inhabitants who are desperately trying to escape the sadness and isolation of the modern world. So, pretty vague description.
Fairly vague, yeah.
But
I don't think this is about the internet being bad, but it is about, you know.
I think it's about
That
like,
theme is there, but it's not like the main takeaway.
Mm-hmm. I think this is incredibly prescient. Like, this is incredibly like prophetic, because this is like, it's kind of like, I mean, you could say maybe because it's really about isolation and loneliness, and like I guess the internet is like the vessel for those like those kind of feelings, or those like the ghosts are supposed to, you can like probably dissect this movie and say this symbolizes that or whatever, but like yeah, it's really that really hit like the second time around, because I didn't even think about that the first time. I was so like blown away by just like the horror aspects of it, not so much the story. But like yeah, this was my second time watching, which is why I wanted to recommend it, because really fucking well done. These horror sequences are just like handled so well. And so
I'm sure you both know that I don't say this lightly, but this scared the fuck out of me. Like I don't
terrifying.
I don't get that very often, and I'm very glad I did with this. So.
I'm glad. I've been
looking for a film like this. There are very few films that like consistently scare me throughout. Mm-hmm. And this would happily join the very few that did.
I think just everything about like the tone of it just makes you feel really trapped in it as well. And it's it's so scary sometimes.
Yeah. Similar to like Angst, like there's like this constant like uneasiness about it. There's this constant like unsettling, like just this feeling of this sense of dread. Like that's the best way I can describe it. Like every scene, it feels so somber and just like dread filled. You don't know like what is going on like with these characters' heads. Like, why are they acting so strange, some of them? And like, I mean, man, that opening scene with the guy, I don't know if I have to get into spoilers for it, but like that first scare, I guess it's so like, I just love horror like this, to where like there's something in the background, like you don't even notice it right away. It doesn't zoom in on it. There's no sound. It's just like, it's there, and like it's up to you to find it, and then you see it, and it's like, that's fucking creepy.
It's my favorite type of horror. It just lingers on the horror. It doesn't like fucking, it's not up in your face like the fucking Conjuring or something, where it would just like fucking, there's a scary thing, you're supposed to be scared of that, but no, this respects your intelligence.
How do you like dunk on that movie so much and you haven't even seen it?
The Conjuring. No, the Conjuring is just the go-to. The go-to, modern horror. Yeah,
but you haven't seen it.
Issue. Look, I love
like
James
at least
Bond.
pick something that you've seen.
That's true. There's plenty of Blumhouse horror you could choose from. I mean, any of them, and they're all the same, honestly, with their scares.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but Insidious or some shit.
It's not like something like, say, Megan, where the horror is like up front in your face.
There we go.
You wanted me to pick a Blumhouse movie.
Megan meets Pulse. Yeah. No, that's very true. Like, I don't know. I think, and yeah, that's just like Japanese horror, man. Like, you just can't beat it. I mean, it's they treat their horror differently than like a lot of horror over here, like in the States, and like wherever else it's made. I don't know. They're much more subtle. Yeah, they take their time. They're a lot more subtle with things. And sometimes it doesn't really pay off in some Japanese horror movies, and in cases like this it really does, to where it's just like built up so well. The fucking suspense, there's no jump scares. Like, I know it's easy to talk shit about jump scares, but like, I mean, it's just, that's not scary. A jump scare is not scary, but like the suspense and like seeing something, what I love the most is that like for all of these scares, the sound completely drain. Like, there's so many moments where the sound will just completely drain out, and you're kind of like tense because you're expecting a loud thing, but you never get it, and so that's even more scary than having something come out and getting that release. So like, there's never a release. You're constantly like fucking like grinding your teeth or whatever you do. I don't know. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure apart from Audition, this is the only J-horror film I've seen. And this and Audition really don't fuck around, and I really got to watch more J-horror films because this, it's like you were saying, there's an overwhelming sense of dread that just makes everything infinitely more scary, and the aspects of like loneliness that the film touches on, it just really fucking hits.
Yeah,
it hits so fucking hard, and it emphasizes the horror to like a extreme degree, I think, because you're trapped here with these people, and you're almost feeling what they're feeling. Because like one of the things I really liked about the film is that I think it isolates its characters in a very believable way, and in a way that amplifies the horror, because like there aren't too many scenes with like 2 people in them or 3 people in them. It's mostly just like one person in a scene. Like very few of the scenes do have 2 people in them, and those scenes are mostly like exposition dumps, if anything.
That's true.
Like not in a bad way. I thought the lore of the film was very interesting.
And you start to like gradually notice like how it becomes like less and less people in the background as well, like as it goes.
Yeah, that was very creepy.
Yeah, and just like the whole backdrop of Tokyo too, it's so populated, but the fact that you don't see many people is also really off-putting, and just like how wide open some spaces are, and just like I don't know, like the scene to where in the very background on top of that like factory or plant, like you see that one girl at the top, and what ends up happening. So it's just it's I don't know, it's just very weird.
Could we get into spoilers, because I don't think I have much else to say that isn't spoiler related.
Yeah, we can get into spoilers. So
Spoilers for Pulse.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the like Liam was saying, the way that like you gradually notice like less and less people there or whatever, that stuff is really effective, and that suicide scene was fucking oh my god.
A lot of the suicide scenes, like I mean they're basically all suicides, which is like also really upsetting, I guess, like if you were to attribute this to like modern day, like, you know, what the internet and loneliness can do to people. And it's just a very unfortunately timeless experience for sure. Like that opening scene, man, with the guy like
the guy just hanging there, his neck just fucking stretched. And it doesn't zoom in right away on his face. I love how it just has that wide shot, and you just see him on the left, like you just see him hanging there, and like there's no, it doesn't like throw it in your face. It's like, oh, there he is in the corner, like hanging there. Like it's just really fucking, and like the build up to that too, like he's totally fine. You don't even notice him grab the cable and just kind of walk back there. It's just, I don't know, it keeps you on like your toes from that moment on in the movie. And I love the like black marks on the wall to like indicate that there is a ghost there. I think that is like so fucking cool. Yeah, that's a cool stylistic thing. Yeah. But also, I think like of all the scenes in the movie, the one that like freaked me out the most was the basement scene. You know, when the guy goes down to the basement, and then you see a woman's legs at the very back, and then she just starts like slowly walking towards him. That shit. That's my fuck out. That's my scene too. That really gets, because like it's yet again the fact that all the sound just drains out. There's practically no music from what I remember. Maybe like a little, I don't remember, but the unnatural I don't think there's movement, any music in that scene. Yeah, there's no. I don't think there is, but like the unnatural movement, how she like. It's like so off-putting, and so yet again like all of these movies like a nightmare, to where, and just like the way that she's reaching, or you see her hands reaching over the ledge, it's so well done. It's terrifying, man. Yeah. But I think another kind of reference point that could be used for this, and like how effective this is the fact that there's a fucking remake of this, you know, during the J-horror remake boom of the 2000s. And I actually planned on watching the remake before we did this podcast, because I'm a psychopath, but I didn't get around to it. But I did watch the trailer. Holy shit. Fucking shit, it looks bad. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it took everything, it did not take anything good from the first movie, I'm guessing. Like, I'm sure they filled it with jump scares. They filled it with whatever. Yeah. From what I can gather, the ghosts are more evil and more sinister in it. Like the ghosts have like, you know, ghoulish makeup on and all that, and it's just like, you didn't watch the original.
No.
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And they try to do like the unnatural movement of that ghost in the basement. They do that in the trailer.
Oh no.
And also, in the trailer they reuse like the ending shot of like the plane crashing, like from this movie. Like they don't even show their version of it, they just show the fucking Japanese version of it, because, you know, I'm not crazy about that, and we'll get onto that, but
Yeah.
it's better than whatever the fuck they were getting onto.
I don't think any American remake of a Japanese movie has probably been good, honestly.
Right?
They just that's a good point. The Ring was solid. The Ring is a solid movie, yeah.
I've
But
heard
not
some
the-
people say they prefer it to Ringu,
Yeah, I guess that is debatable, but like The Grudge.
but it could be like down to nostalgia and all that. But
It
yeah,
could
no,
be.
stuff like The Grudge and like One Missed Call and all that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't remake Audition.
I'm surprised too. I'm surprised they didn't remake House. The Japanese horror movie House.
That's unremakeable.
That I think it is, yeah.
That is unremakeable. You can't do that.
No.
No, it's the 2000s.
Yeah.
But also the framing device of like the computers and all that, like the initial scene with the main guy, like just looking at the computer and he's going through like the webcam images on the PC and all that. That shit was just creepy. Like just seeing the people stand there, and then there's that one guy that was just sitting at the desk, and then
Yeah.
he just looks at the camera. That stuff is like, it's a nightmare fuel.
It is. It is.
My favorite scene in the movie was probably when like the girl that he was with most of the movie, when like near the end when she's in her room alone, and then she notices that like there's a webcam on her.
Yeah, that was
that
really
made me-
strange.
That terrified me, and it also made me tear up at the same time, which was a unique experience.
Yeah, it's a sad movie. You should
It is.
mention that too. It is surprisingly a sad movie. Yeah, and that scene really definitely like embodies the whole theme of the movie, I think, for sure.
Oh yeah. The constant need for connection.
Yeah.
And what kind of the internet. Well, I think they were probably just theorizing at that point, like, this is what the internet can take away from us. And yeah, it kind of did.
It did. And it's never
He
been
was
truer
right.
yet again. Never been more true, which is sad. They were really ahead of their time, for sure, with this stuff. I just want to also mention the sound design, like the whispers on the phone,
It's
like,
awesome.
help me. Like that
Yeah,
shit
very creepy.
was creepy. Like even when I'm not seeing anything, just hearing something, if you can get me with just audio, like that is impressive. Because like
Like the
yeah.
like the scene where the girl walks into that room, and it's just the point of view of the ghost, and you can just hear him saying "help me." That is like she's walking towards him, and then she's slowly backing away.
The one that got me
It's
the most
so
was the one
creepy.
in the like factory, like when he gets locked in that room.
Oh yeah,
That
when
was
the
fucking
Oh, yeah.
horrifying.
thing rolls in the room. Yeah, that is, and I just love that, like that slow, like not even zoom, but just like the character's face coming closer and closer to the camera, and like we're so conditioned. I feel like we're so conditioned, like to horror movies now, to where like, we would get that release, we would get that like bam, face right in your fucking camera right in your face, but we don't get that with this, and it's like
No, it's just
so
really slow.
it's just slow and it's uncomfortable, and it's like you're just having this face come at you, and there's no big bang, there's no big release. It's just like you're watching this thing, and I love this type of horror is just, it's what I love about the genre, honestly, or why I love the genre.
I was kind of conflicted after I first watched it, but after I've had like a day or so to think, I don't like the ending. I don't gel with the ending too much. I think it's too over the top
I
for
like
what the
it.
rest of the movie was going for.
I do kind of like it, but I think it gets a bit silly at points, maybe. But I
Yeah,
think
it does
like
get a
the
little
very
silly.
ending I did like.
I
what-
did too.
what
The
I-
very ending is good.
What I really did like it though, that I have to say, is when they're on that like car journey towards like the boat or whatever. And like the city just looks so fucking desolate and like I don't know, abandoned and
Yeah.
weird, and it looks like 28 days later, honestly.
yeah.
Like it's crazy.
I love that, actually. I do love that part, but I will agree, I don't love the big CGI flying aircraft that comes down and fucking explodes.
it
like
looked kinda
that,
weird.
it
looks like
suddenly felt like a different movie. I was like,
Yeah.
that does not fit into this movie. So that's like the one...
It feels insanely out of place.
It really does. That's like the one moment that I don't think should be
I think
in
it
the
just
movie.
got a bit too melodramatic towards the end, maybe.
While I do agree with like them driving through Tokyo and like it's all desolate or whatever, I think it was a bit overdone for how I would have liked it. Like I still liked it.
I did like the way it looked. I thought it looked really cool.
I would have preferred it to be a bit more grounded personally, but I did enjoy that aspect of it.
I think the fact that it doesn't look quite so realistic makes it feel more dreamlike, which kind of fits into how it is
true.
as a movie, I
I
think.
suppose, yeah.
So I like that.
But also the music gets so much more like intense at the end, which is also really out of place, to be honest, with the rest of the movie. Because in the rest of the movie, there's practically no music, or if it is, it's just like light, weird vocal echoes. And then this was like some intense fucking action scene when they're like driving through the streets, and so it feels like a different movie at the end. But it didn't like ruin the thing for me at all. Honestly, I'm still love it, but yeah.
Up until then, though, it is very, very good horror. Really good horror.
It really is. Really is.
Like the first hour and 40 minutes of this movie, absolutely perfect, honestly. But it's just the ending that kind of falters a bit. Like there's, the very ending I do like. I do like the scene in the factory with the digital ghost guy. Surrounding that, I'm not too crazy about the last act of it.
Yeah, that's fair. For sure.
I really like the main guy. I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
The main guy and girl were both pretty good.
They were good.
He's got some drip going.
Oh, he was dripped the fuck out.
He was.
Like the first scene with him in like his room, and like he had the messy desk, and there's like PS1 games and shit. That's such an aesthetic, man.
He's dressing very
striving for
2001. It's great.
He is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Overall, amazing horror movie. This is my second time watching. Even though some of the stuff in the ending feels out of place, I'm willing to overlook it and give it a 10 out of 10. I have to give it a 10 out of 10 because this contains some of the best like creepy atmosphere and horror that the genre has to offer, and I love it. It's such a vibe. Yeah. It's such a timeless fucking movie, besides some of the cheesy CGI with the aircraft and stuff. But yeah,
it's a great one. Probably feeling around an 8 or a 9, I think. But yeah, I really liked a lot about it, and yeah, it's very. It's not that often that I get really affected by horror, so I'm glad that I did feel that way.
Mm-hmm. It did that for me as well. I feel like on a rewatch it could be a 9 out of 10, but for now it's a very enthusiastic 8 out of 10. I feel like on rewatch, if I just went along more with like knowing what it's going to end up as, I feel like I'd gel with it a bit more. But for now, feeling a very, very strong 8.
Nice. Mm-hmm. There you go. Hell yeah.
Spooky season.
All good movies. We can all agree that they're all good to great to amazing movies. So yeah.
I love them all.
Yeah, they're all great.
Good recommendations, guys.
Dude, I was about to say, this might be the most questions we've actually ever gotten on an episode. In general, I really think it is, which is random, but
thanks everyone.
Great. Thank you everybody. Yeah. We got 12
wait,
folks.
We have one, and would I be able to read this one?
Yes, and I hope it's the one I'm thinking of.
No, it's one that I got, and it's from
Oh, damn it.
Is it from my good friend?
It's from a good friend, yeah. We got a listener question here from Monty SFB.
Yeah.
He says, if Leia's seydoux was on my telly and I was in Videodrome, I would do the exact same things he did.
I agree.
No hesitation. Even though there's another one I wish that you read, but I'll read the rest.
Hey, come on, you love old child support. He's great.
No, I don't know. I guess I'll get his out of the way since you brought that up. But did he change his username, by the way?
RTE News. Yeah, no, he runs RTE News.
Oh, okay. All right. So from RTE News official, what would be scarier, being breastfed by John Cena or made love to by Schwarzenegger?
No, see, this is where the variables come in.
This is quite the question.
Like,
this is where we need a Schwarzenegger soundboard. We need a soundbite to play.
Oh God.
No, which Schwarzenegger are we talking about? Are we talking about like pumping iron Schwarzenegger? Are we talking about like fucking current day Schwarzenegger? Are we talking like Terminator fucking Dark Fate Schwarzenegger?
I guess we can pick. I mean, he didn't specify, so you can pick.
I think would be pleasant being made love to by pumping iron era. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I would
Well,
say
I think it would be
breastfed
it
by
would
John
be
Cena.
scarier being breastfed by John Cena, probably.
Yeah.
It would be, because
That
how
is
does
a
he even do
scarier
that?
image.
So from All Right So Reviews, he asked two questions. First one, are we past the A24 and Neon deconstruct horror now that, and this is just how it's worded, I think he didn't have enough room to word it. Are we past the A24 and Neon deconstruct horror now that Scream made a joke out of it? Do you guys, I guess, get that? I don't know.
No. I don't think so personally. Like, you know, Scream, the original Scream made fun of like slasher movies, and you know, it revitalized the genre because of it.
That is true.
I don't think because like in the recent Screams they're mocking, like, well, not even really mocking, elevated horror. I fucking hate that term, but like, you know.
Yeah. Me too.
Even though they're mocking that kind of stuff, but no, it seems to be kind of here to stay. I feel like it's just another subsect of horror. Like, you either love it or you hate it. I feel like it's being too reliant on the whole grief thing at the moment, which is fine. Like, grief is something everyone goes through. But there are too many horror movies that are just like, oh, this is an allegory for grief.
Yeah, it's getting overdone. But no, I think there's always going to be an audience for that type of horror, so it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
I'm
still
definitely
love
part
it.
of the audience.
Yeah, for sure. But another question from him: how impactful has the French extremity film era been on modern horror? Now, I need to know what movies that would even include, honestly.
I think that would include things like Murders and what's that one that everyone goes on about? High Tension. Murders, High Tension.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those kinds of things. Murders was Spanish. What am I talking about?
Mars was Spanish? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it was.
I can't think of many French horror films off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Well, I think Gaspar Noé was.
Oh yeah, he
filmed
would
on French
classify.
Extremity.
Yeah,
I guess,
Irreversible and shit. Yeah, I guess.
Like so.
Yeah.
Like even.
But I don't think
Like,
it's like I don't think the set intention with his movies is horror though. So
I do think it's kind of had an impact in the way that movies are less afraid to be more grotesque, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't know if it'd be a part of that kind of era of French extremity, but stuff like Raw and Titan, like from
I was about to
Julia
say
Ducournau,
Raw, yeah.
yeah.
That is true.
I think those are quite boundary pushing, and I think they're fantastic films in their own right.
I just don't know if it's been super impactful on like the mainstream horror, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get a mainstream horror movie as extreme as those. Or like that's just not as accessible for like modern horror. Not accessible enough. I don't know if that's answering his question or not, but I don't know, that like yet again, like the elevated horror thing, whatever you want to call it, like there's always going to be an audience for that, so it's always going to be around. All right, from Luke Nielsen 00, what is your least favorite horror movie? It's easy
Veronica.
for me. Oh yeah. Veronica.
And least favorite movie in general, probably.
Yeah. I would
Fuck that
second
fucking
that by
movie.
my least favorite movie is also a horror movie, and that's The Exorcist 2. Still
Yeah.
my least favorite movie. I fucking hate it. So yeah.
You gotta say Veronica, Keelan. You gotta.
I don't know, because there is like some so bad it's good elements.
But just really think about it though. Like, that fucking movie.
Neither of you have seen it. Never watch it. I don't think anyone's fucking seen it. It's a film from 2015 that I watched on Netflix on a whim called Most Likely to Die, and it's awful.
I heard about
it.
it.
Dreadful. It's just so boring and just so run of the mill, and I just remember feeling absolute nothing but contempt for it.
Least favorite
No,
movie
sorry.
ever?
No, my least. You know my least favorite movie.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
I'm sure I would know it, but
Attack of the Clones.
oh, damn it. Yeah, you're right. Damn it.
Actually, no. Sorry. That's not my least favorite horror movie. The Nightmare on Elm Street remake. That is probably my least favorite horror movie.
yeah.
I think that is an absolute fucking nightmare. Oh, disrespectful to the source material, and It made Rooney Mara want to quit acting, which is unforgivable, frankly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, no, I hate that movie with a passion. It is probably my least favorite horror movie.
From Film Forager, she asked, which country, in your opinion, produces the best horror films?
Well, I don't know.
By default, I'd say American.
Yeah, I mean, on average, I think, all my favorite horror movies, most of them have probably been American horror movies, I guess. But American horror movies are also, there's a lot of shit in there, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably more on average than other countries. But I don't know, I guess in the theme of one of these, I really think Japanese horror, like, they are up there. They're really up there. Just in the way they handle a lot of their horror. And I don't think it's like by mistake, that we've had so many American studios try and emulate and remake a lot of Japanese horror. Like, they take so much from it and try to adapt it, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, so that should say something.
It should say something, the fact that, that even we can't nail it like they can. So, I think
there are good horror movies from pretty much every place, but it is kind of a shame because I think a lot of them probably don't make it through to us audiences, which is shit.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I'm sure every country has like as bad quality horror movies as American horror movies do, but we just never hear of them.
From Atomic Ant Reviews, this is a pretty broad question. He just said favorite death. I don't know if he means from the movies that we watched or
Queen.
from horror movies.
Queen. Nice.
Drop the mic.
Good one, Keelan.
Yeah, that was.
Sticking with that.
So favorite death from like these movies that we watched, maybe?
I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's what he's asking. He just said favorite death, but I mean.
If so, probably the daughter from Angst.
Yeah, that was
that scene's awesome.
That was pretty rough. I guess if you want to say favorite, like memorable horror movie deaths, the daughter from Hereditary, that always sticks with me.
Yeah,
that's a fucking that'll always stick with me.
Olga and Suspiria is one that really sticks with me.
Yeah, that one is. Oh god.
Brendan Gleeson in 28 Days Later, that death makes me sad every time.
Yeah.
The opening death and Scream is iconic.
Yeah, that's
it's
iconic.
Perfect.
That's iconic.
It's great.
Yeah.
Have you both seen Drag Me to Hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the death of the main character. I think he's perfect.
That was pretty cool.
Just her getting dragged to hell, as the title suggests. But I think that death is amazing.
I guess there's also Jared Leto in American Psycho. I like that death.
Oh, that's a great
Obviously, it's a classic.
That is a classic. Oh, that's up there.
I like the last scene in Creep.
Oh yeah,
that's a very effective, minimal kind of death.
It is. Yeah.
I
feel so real.
I love the suicide montage in Happy Death Day 2. I think that scene is so much fun.
Oh,
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen Happy Death Day 2. I wasn't a huge fan of the first, but
the Rat Trap in Saw 3.
Okay.
Do you remember that one? That one's great.
I don't remember that.
It's like twisting his limbs.
Ooh.
It's fucked up.
And
a lot of kills in The Blob. I love The Blob.
The Blob? I still need to see The Blob. The Marion Crane, I think that's her name in Psycho. I mean, fucking talk about iconic horror movie deaths. Mm-hmm. The shower scene. Fucking.
There's the baby death. The baby death in Mother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
That one is horrifying.
Snap. Yeah, that is. And then the death of the priest in The Exorcist. I mean, that's another.
Well, the jump scare in Exorcist 3, that's a good death.
Ooh, that is, even though we don't see the death. But
yeah.
Yeah. For movies that don't suck, best and worst horror movie sequel ever. Well, worst Exorcist 2. That's an easy answer for me.
I don't watch many sequels.
Yeah, you don't, so it's mainly me and Quinn.
Yeah. And there's a lot of bad It is, and like horror is notorious for having endless sequels, and almost all of them are bad. That's the thing too. Yeah, it's really rare that you find a great horror movie sequel.
In terms of worst, I guess like I said, Nightmare on Elm Street. Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie remake. I hate that
God.
movie.
Yeah.
A lot of the Halloween sequels are dog shit, like fucking Halloween 6.
Halloween Curse of Michael
Resurrection.
Myers and Resurrection are terrible. Yeah.
Can I count Alien Resurrection?
Yeah.
You can indeed.
totally
I hate
sequel.
that movie.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that movie.
It is bad. That's a bad one, yeah.
American Psycho 2 is awful, but it's
Oh,
also so bad it's good.
I almost watched that. I didn't see it yet, though. I haven't seen it.
I refuse.
It's funny.
I
It's a
refuse.
funny one.
I know, it's just like, why? Just why? In terms of best, though, I mean, there's some great horror movies, like Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2 is probably my favorite.
It's a great one. Honestly, I gotta say Exorcist 3 is my favorite horror movie sequel. I fucking, it after watching it so many times recently, it's up there, like, for sure.
I feel like that movie is brought up like once per episode at this point.
It has been at this point. It's just I want more people to check that out. It's still underrated.
I have 3 horror sequels rated a 10 out of 10. Evil Dead 2, Dawn of the Dead, and Gremlins 2.
Gremlins. I haven't seen
movie.
Gremlins 2. Oh, I need to see it.
Gremlins 2 is better than the first. It's amazing.
I think Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, I think that I will always stand by that sequel. I think that's a great sequel.
That's good, but do you know what's even better? Halloween 3. Fuck yeah.
Halloween 3 gets so much hate, and it's
awesome.
Good movie. It's a good movie, yeah. And even though it doesn't have Michael, it's a great movie. Terrifier 2. Okay, Terrifier 2. Fucking love Terrifier 2. Yeah, better than the first, definitely. And Creep 2. Dear God, Creep 2. Fuck, I love Creep 2. I know me and Liam love it. Keelan likes it.
I love Creep 2.
You
I
love
hate
it?
the first.
The first
You
is
hate the
fucking
first?
great. The first is great. Shut up.
The first is great, but the second just improves on everything for me, honestly. It does.
I think they're both equally perfect, personally, but that's just me.
I'll rewatch the first at some point, but as of now, I prefer the second.
All right. Moving on to Sirtone_reviews. He asked, last horror film that made you lose sleep.
That never really happens to me. I lose sleep anyway.
Yeah. My life's a horror movie. I would say the only thing closest to like me literally not wanting to go to bed or like I can't sleep because it's on my mind, it probably was the first time I watched Hereditary. That's the only one, honestly, for me.
I think maybe the first time I watched Under the Skin, I was kind of like that.
Ooh.
Like,
yes.
I just felt really affected by it, and I was like in the house alone completely, and I was just like, that made me feel some kind of way.
Me too. Yeah.
I think the only things that have ever made me lose sleep from how scared I've been by them is just like reading up like on real world events. Like that's the shit that gets to me.
Yeah.
Like when I read about the Jonestown massacre for the first time, that freaked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That shit is scary.
Yeah.
But also
The
even,
real
like,
horror is
reading
in
up
the
on more,
real
like,
world.
True.
But I
though.
also like to read up on like, you know, more disturbing films that I'd never watched, like, you know, like August Underground and shit like that, that I'm never going to see because they're just basically fake snuff movies.
There have been some like
Yeah,
Japanese
that shit gets me.
web comics that have really kind of not like made me not be able to sleep that well. Like I can't remember the guy's name, but there's this one guy who does like really like horror web comics and stuff, and they're like
Yeah,
they're
I would say
horrifying.
that's a good point. I think like internet horror is like to me almost scarier. Like when I in like high school or like my freshman year of high school, I was like obsessed with like creepypasta videos and shit.
Yeah.
And like watching those
Same.
and like the smiling dog and like the fucking Jack Whiteface or whatever the fuck those things were.
Jack Whiteface.
Jack
Isn't that his name?
Whiteface.
I don't know what the fuck. What is it?
Jeff the Killer?
Jeff the Killer. I don't
Jack
know why
White's
I
a
thought Jack
musician.
Whiteface.
He's on my wall back there.
He haunts my dreams. No, Jeff the Killer. That face. I know it's just so fucking. It's it haunts me to this day, and I don't know why.
Do you remember the maze game?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
maze game where the
that
fucking
shit.
thing pops up. Yeah. I think it was like the
Bringing it back
Exorcist.
to the Exorcist.
Yeah.
It was Reagan.
I didn't
That's
know
still
that
a
that
thing
was
that-
her.
That's a thing that
Yeah.
like parents still do to their kids like now, like as an early internet thing or whatever. Like I've seen TikToks of like parents like showing it to their kids or whatever. It's like
That's kind of
traumatize them, what
fucked
the
up. I mean, yeah, like wait till they're
No,
a
it's
little
funny as
older,
shit.
and then it is funny. But like, I think it all started for me with that fucking YouTube video, the car commercial, the fake car commercial, where you
Yeah,
see the
same.
car and then the zombie pops up. That's where it all went downhill from there.
I remember watching that for the first time when I was like 6 years old.
There's
Dude,
this one
it's internet legend.
there's this one webcomic from the guy that I was talking about, but it's like the whole concept of it was so like unsettling to me. It's basically just like these like holes start appearing like in like these rocks or whatever, and they're like basically people shaped, and then people start becoming like obsessed, like saying like this is my one, like I was meant to go in this one, and they like
Ugh.
end up just like disappearing and not like ever getting out, and it's so freaky.
Ugh,
Ugh.
that's a good idea for a horror movie.
Yeah,
It's weird.
It's really creepy shit.
That's strange. Yeah, internet horror is almost scarier than like the horror movies we get, honestly. I don't know,
Yeah.
something about it.
They got to adapt shit like that.
For real. Yeah. No, it's not to go on and on, but there is like, I think there's a growing trend, honestly. I think they tried it with Slender Man and it failed, but like there's a growing trend of taking shit from the internet like that, and there's a name for it. I can't think of what it is, but like Skinamarink was like the recent one to really blow up and do that. But like,
It's more like atmospheric horror.
yeah, but there's an actual term for it, and I analog horror. I think it's called analog
Yes.
horror. Yeah,
You're
and
right.
it's like, and like we know that we're gonna get a horror movie based on like the back rooms and whatever the fuck
Yeah.
that is. Like, yeah,
That's already in development by A24.
of course it is, and like, yeah. So I think that's a growing trend, and honestly, like if they can nail it, then that'd be cool. But I don't know. From moving _ pictures, she asked, what is the most disturbing thing you've ever seen in a film that haunts you to this day?
Ooh.
I'll pick a good one and a bad one, because there's one. Yeah, no, I've one for each basically. But the final half an hour of Murders.
Oh, is that
sticks
a?
out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to go into it, but
No, I've
that
seen
fucked
it.
me
I
up.
know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
that
gross.
entire
It's
half an
fucked
hour
up.
is
It's
no,
it's,
even like the ending.
Oh,
With like the woman.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really freaked me out, and that's what made me watch Happy Death Day, because I was like, oh shit, that fucked me up. I gotta watch something light.
Something lighter. Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, the ending of Murders, the last half an hour.
It's
so
really
scary.
unsettling. It really
So
like
bleak.
made me feel like shit, honestly, that movie.
For one that disturbed me in a bad way, it's Cannibal Holocaust. The animal deaths in that movie, they just gross me out.
Oh, Cannibal Holocaust, yeah. I
Yeah.
still see it.
I hate that movie.
Yeah, they got away with a lot, I'm sure. That you would never today.
There's
sure.
a 5-minute long scene where they disembowel a tortoise,
Oh.
and it's you
like, just
see it,
why?
and it's
It's like, why?
I hated it. I hate that shit.
But the most disturbing thing, I don't know. I mean, a lot of I know I keep bringing it up, and like, it's not the most fucked up shit I've ever seen, but like the imagery in Hereditary, like sometimes will stick in my head. But if I watch it now, I'm like, I've seen it enough times. It's not that scary anymore. But just my first watch, taking away from that, like there was some imagery that stuck in my head. But I don't know. The most disturbing things. I mean, anything from a Serbian film, I guess. That was pretty disturbing. It's
You
just
criticized me
gross.
for watching Sallow.
Yeah, I know. This Serbian film is even more like in your face with all of its shock value crap.
I know everything that happens in it. I'm never watching it.
Yeah, it's yeah, don't watch it. I own the Blu-ray and I'm ashamed to own the Blu-ray. I should burn it.
Burn it.
Burn that fucking disgrace, that abomination to humanity. But that being said, it's like a 2 stars for me. So it's not even like
Had some redeeming elements.
it actually tries to have commentary on like the entertainment world or like what we view as that, but like it just it over relies on its shock value shit. So, yeah. But
I think in
guess one
terms of like
those
stuff
scenes-
that kind of like I watched at a younger age and like still affects me now. Like the first horror movie I properly watched was The Woman in Black, so there's like there's like some imagery from that still haunts me a little bit. But other than that, like I don't really know what else to say.
The middle section of that movie is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It
you know
really
yourself.
is.
I've thought of two more that I'll just throw out there quickly. The ending of Audition is really fucked up.
Audition
Gotta
is
see it.
just
disturbing.
that whole movie.
Gotta
Just
see
oh
it.
my god,
I love that movie.
it's so
but
fucking
also-
vile.
I'm shocked that you wouldn't have said this, Liam, but any scene in the void and Under the Skin
Well, yeah, yeah.
is very.
Oh yeah, the
very
jump
disturbing
scare and
and
Under the
unsettling.
Skin. I mean, Liam saw my reaction.
Yeah,
to that
yeah, I saw your
firsthand,
reaction.
So, yeah, it was, that just really was disturbing. Just the
Yeah.
sound and that made me feel like shit.
I love how
And,
the score goes like right after that as well. Like how it's just like
Yeah.
that scratchy, just like I don't know. It's
Yeah,
freaky.
it's really messed up. From All Right So Reviews, third question I didn't see. Why is Cronenberg into kinky stuff?
Don't kink shame.
Yeah, don't kink shame, bro.
I'm into it. You gonna interrogate me, huh?
No.
I'm not talking to you, Quinn. I'm talking to All Right So
Oh.
Reviews.
Yeah, come on the podcast and defend yourself.
I mean, I think his son's movie Infinity Pool, like that's kinkier than any of the stuff Cronenberg's done from what I've seen.
You gotta watch Crash.
I should watch Crash. I should. Yeah, I think he doesn't rely too much on like the kinky stuff, honestly. That's just like the subsect of his movies, honestly. Not all of his movies have that, but
Yeah.
yeah. Last question. Okay, it's not even a question. From Anton _ Kino Love. They said Omen 1976. That's it.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
You guys, you haven't? I
heard it's
this
good.
is one I watched at a very young age, actually, like for the first time, and that's probably a definitive, like an integral horror movie to me, actually. What got me into the genre, like I mean, it's not a movie you should watch at a young age because there's some crazy deaths in that movie, but fucking good movie, great movie. But yeah, that's all the questions, all 12. That was the most we've gotten.
Thanks
at once.
everyone.
Thanks
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
That was nice.
Yep.
So yeah. So I was really trying to think of a next topic, and so with Drake having released a new album. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. I wanted to tease you for a second. Just side note, Drake released For All the Dogs. It's a good album. Not his best, but no, I'm not gonna make it a Drake episode.
Shut the fuck up, Quinn. That was like the scariest
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Dude, I know.
This month.
That was
I
scary
know,
than
I'm
any
not
of the movies
that-
we watched.
I actually, believe it or not, I do take into account how you guys would feel about the topic too.
I would
you.
do a Drake episode in the future, but I just-
Eventually,
yeah.
down the road.
Not right
if
now.
you finish the albums, yeah.
When I
No,
can.
I'm not gonna make you rush through the rest of his discography in like 2 weeks. This Friday, movie I'm looking forward to is releasing. It's a director we all know and love, and that's Martin Scorsese. His new movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, is releasing Friday. I honestly was tempted to just say, let's do a fucking Martin Scorsese episode, but I know that you guys still have to see a lot, and that would be way too much to squeeze in 2 weeks, honestly. I'll leave it up to you guys. I've seen a lot of Scorsese movies. I would love to do an episode on him.
I'm like,
but
I'm willing to watch a few, but I don't know if I can get like that many done.
we definitely don't have to watch like the majority of his movies, but like if you got to even like close to 10 of his movies watched, like, I mean, that could be enough right there.
I've seen 8 Scorsese movies.
Yeah, 8.
Nice. Okay, so you both seen 8.
We could always do like these. We could always continue these episodes later on. By the way, like I would like to maybe at some point come back to Park Chan-wook or Shinkai or something like that. Like it's If you want, I'm down to do like a proper director episode, but we don't have to watch everything.
Yeah, it's an intimidating one. It's a lot, but
Very.
no, it is. It's. I mean, he's a legend and he's got a shit ton of movies, but don't have to watch them all.
Just before we get into outroing our shit, I didn't mention it or anything because I forgot, but 40 episodes.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah. 40. The big
Nice.
40.
Good milestone.
Yeah. That is a milestone. 40.
It's been good. I really like I've liked how the structure's been since Keelan's joined as well. Like the picking an episode like per person.
Yeah, me too.
Each time. That's cool. And
I
it's
like
working
that
really
too.
well.
I think so too.
Podcast is the best it's
Yeah.
ever been.
Yeah, it is going strong. Yeah, that's about it. So Martin Scorsese is next.
Yes.
We'll try and get him on the podcast. He's a busy guy, but we'll try and get him on the pod to rank his own movies as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's about it. You can find me at Views by Quinn on pretty much all the social medias, Instagram, Letterboxd. Look for the link tree.
You can find me at Movies, Music, and Me on everything. Look at the link tree in the bio. Check out my Letterboxd, my Instagram, my YouTube, my TikTok.
You can find me at Only Shallow on everything. The link tree is in the bio.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
And in your walls.
Yeah, that's about it. So,
Bye, everybody.
konnichiwa, bitches?
Konnichiwa.
Is that Japanese? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
konnichiwa, bitches! Yeah. I tried to
Hello,
pulse
bitches.
it. I did a pulse-themed outro.
nice.